researching the psychology behind weight loss, that coming from a place of fear like I used to, sort of kind of fuels failure. So I decided that taking too much time to make this life-changing decision just tends to create more self-doubt and negative thinking, and then it just keeps fueling my fear even more. So I did a solid 6 weeks, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm at home most of the time, so that was enough for me. And I also used Mexico Bariatric Center. They have people in Canada that they can recommend where you can get a medical tourism financing. So in terms of the self-doubt, so a lot of people who are here in Canada has been on the waiting list for say 2 to 4 years. So that's where the thing comes in, that the longer you wait, the more time it takes for you to get to the surgery point. There's about 98% of people who are on this really long waiting listing in Canada that ends up dropping out and quitting. The most valuable lesson in life are not taught, but experienced. Don't think you're going to bend other people's rules when you go to like a get-together. And sometimes you go to get together and it feels to you like everybody expects you to eat what is there. If you think you have to bend your rules to adapt to their rules, then you don't own the journey. You have to create your own rules and stick with it. Everybody's not going to always be in your corner, but you know, the people who are not on your corner has more a tendency of projecting their own pain, and you just have to get yourself all the mental skills you can to own your journey. So I see this journey as the most powerful tool and key in my hand that I can and already started to change my life so radically. This was the medication I took before the surgery. That's 3 times a day, so morning, afternoon, evening. And in the next slide, this is the medication that I took now. This has happened within 4.5 weeks. It includes metformin, which I think maybe a lot of you guys take. My 2 blood pressure medications are gone. My arthritis medication, the only thing I still take is some of my seizure medication. Yeah, so that gives you an idea of how quickly my medication has changed. And the next picture, that's my first face-to-face Friday picture that we do on the support group on Facebook. So on the left side it's the day after the surgery, 2 days after the surgery, and on the right was 23 days post-op. And the next one, that was me with my brother when I was 271 pounds, not that long ago. So one thing that I've noticed, which you only really feel it after the surgery, is you tend to even start thinking differently. And I was almost naturally attracted to start watching, movies about, say for instance, plant-based recipes. And I was really attracted to all these colors and all these things that I can make. And I always thought eating some plant-based foods and stuff is hard and boring and stuff, and now I've learned the complete opposite. All the resources that I've used so far, and even the research-based stuff that I've read, if anybody is interested in those resources that I've used so far, then I can coordinate with Lily. She was and still is my coordinator. She's sitting there in the back. She was amazing. One amazing thing also about Mexico Bariatric Center is the drivers. They are so dedicated in helping you with everything. They even told me when I wanted to pick up a bag, I said, don't pick your bag up on the left side, pick it on the right side, because that's where your brain used to be. And he's a driver. He went all the way back to the hotel because I forgot my phone charger there. He brought my phone charger back for me. He stopped at the ATM for me. They really go out of their way. Is there any questions? Anybody want to ask anything?
What type of surgery did you have again?
I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy.
And do you take supplements at all?
Yes, I take bariatric vitamins that they recommend, which is the Emerge bariatric vitamins that I ordered online. I'm using the chewable ones. That in the beginning I used the ones that you dissolve in water, and now I'm doing the chewable ones. And there is a lot of really good bariatric vitamins. If you look at my Mexico Bariatric Center last year has a pre-op and post-op webinar that's on YouTube that you can watch. It was Prudence Stickner's videos, and she gets really good information on there too. There's so many different bariatric vitamins you can drink.
How do you get enough water in?
It takes time. The mistake you shouldn't make is force yourself, because even though they say the guidelines is between 48 and 64 ounces, if you don't do it today, then you shouldn't stress about it. Suck some ice cubes. You also get hydration that way. And talking about water and stuff, I was nauseous only once, and that was on the morning of day 2. I had no vomiting at all.
I set her a timer to remind her to drink.
Yeah, no, getting the fluids in is initially hard, but after 2 weeks, I could drink 100 ounces. It was that, like I could really drink, and you really have to follow the instructions to a T. It's really small sips, like if you can do it literally every 1 to 5 minutes at the beginning.
So when you had, obviously you don't have any more hunger pains, but how do you deal with the mental hunger pains?
You know, there's a lot of different good information out there to help you. I can give some of my resources to you.
Okay.
The thing about mental readiness and stuff like that, if they tell you when you start your pre-op diet, Mexico Bariatric Center's advice is to not drink. You have to start practicing not to drink a half an hour before you eat and half an hour after. I first thought it was like, what? You know, maybe I don't need to do it, it will be fine. But then I did it, and anyway, and I was so glad I did it afterwards, because my brain was already wired and trained to do it. Whatever they tell you to train and do beforehand, it's really gonna, maybe it doesn't look that significant to you, but it really helps.
What are you finding is the hardest thing that you've given up?
That I've given up.
For me, it'd be caffeine.
Yeah, caffeine, they give
Like
different,
pop.
they give different information about caffeine, but the main reason why they don't want you to have caffeine is because it dehydrates you.
Oh, okay.
And dehydration, even when you haven't had the surgery, you can easily catch up and deal with it. When you have the surgery, it's a very different thing.
Right.
So dehydration, but you have to really be kind to yourself. If I, for instance, don't get my 60 grams of protein in now per day, I don't beat myself up. And I said, tomorrow's another day. And there's a lot of products you can get in Canada that say, for instance, you say, I can't get these products in the US, but there's this alternative in Canada.
I did see this, I think it's on, because I'm on your group.
On the support group, yeah.
Yeah, and they have this stuff that I think it's like a powder or something that you put in water, and it's called hydration or something,
Yeah.
and it helps with.
That's, you get the electrolytes, but they send you home with, I still have the blue bag here, with a big bag full of the right medication. I was like just staring at the stuff. I said, oh, this is amazing, that I can take all this home, and the drinkable electrolytes and all the medication you need. There's one medication that you just get at the pharmacy downstairs. And the staff, the nurses there, Like I check the time, for instance, I know, okay, now's the time I have to bring my antibiotics. And I just look up and they're right there. Oh no, here's my antibiotics, here's my pain medication. They are so on time and they are so good with what they're doing.
Did you have a lot of problems with gas?
Gas
Pump
is,
you up?
gas is, it's very difficult to explain to you. Everybody's different. But you can get these gas eggs, stuff you can take with. It's actually on your pre-op list of stuff you can pack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How long before you felt like you were healed, that you could go back to your regular activities?
Regular activities, they recommend no lifting anything more than 15 pounds the first 2 to 3 weeks, and no lifting any more than 30 pounds up to like a month or 5 weeks. And in the beginning I just walked every hour. I walked for 3 or 4 minutes, and I think it was after about 2 weeks I could do 20 minutes of walking and some of it uphill. And the first time I saw my incisions, having worked in an OR, I looked at it and I said, where's the incision? I can't see them. But yeah, it's amazing.